With the current pandemic, millions of Americans are currently unemployed or underemployed. And with the DC swamp just dragging their feet on yet again additional stimulus checks, what are people to do? I will show you how I found $1,485.46 basically laying around my house, and how you can do the same. All this and more in today's video. Hello and welcome to Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, author, YouTuber, and volunteer paramedic. Sorry, I'm sure I still sound horrible as I'm still battling COVID. All I can say is it's really sucked. But slowly, each day is a little better than the previous. Honestly, this has been a video I have been wanting to write for months. That I made most of this money back in February. But with everything else that's been going on, honestly, I kind of forgot about this topic until today. Either way, the tips and suggestions that I have here are just as valid today as they were back in February when I started this little project. Back at the beginning of the year when I started planning out this YouTube channel, I needed to make room for this studio. And I ended up using one of the spare bedrooms in my house that, up until this point, was just being used for storage and housed my drum kit. I gathered up tons of items that were in storage that I no longer needed. Some of them were still in the boxes from when I moved into this house almost 4 years ago. So obviously they were not very high up on the list of must-have items. Most of these boxes included old DVDs, previously read books, etc. So what do I do with them? In the past, I would have just taken pictures of each item and posted them on eBay, which is still a valid option, and honestly, it's the best option if you have the time to dedicate to doing this. But I wasn't going to go this route. For me, I was more pressed for time in my schedule, and I was willing to take a few dollars less. My goal was clear. I needed to get these items out of my house, and any cash that I pocketed was just a bonus. But now with the pandemic, and basically everybody's at home anyways, people have a little bit more free time to be able to do this. So if you have the time to take these high quality photos and items, go the eBay route, or similar, selling each item as you will most likely make more money selling them item by item. Now stay to the very end of the video for some bonus secrets on how to be a successful eBayer. So if I'm not going to use eBay, what did I do? Well, I used a website called sellbackyourbook.com. Now first, let me clarify, they are not sponsoring this video, I'm just a customer to use their service. Anyways, I went through all of my old books and textbooks from college, and they were willing to pay me about $168.75 for some of my books, and they provided me free shipping. Honestly, most of the books, they only paid $1 or $2, and some even less. But it was a quick and easy way to get rid of a couple boxes of books and make a little bit of money. At the time, I did dedicate a little bit extra time, and I compared every book price that they offered versus Amazon textbook buyback. And if Amazon was willing to give me more money, I went that route. Now, sadly, I didn't keep track of all the Amazon credits. But I remember I did sell a few of my paramedic textbooks back to them, and they paid me about $100, I think. Because I didn't keep track of the exact amounts, I did not include the books that I sold on Amazon in the final figure of $1,485.46. Basically, as I was going through my books, I built 3 stacks of books on the floor. One for sellbackyourbook.com, one for Amazon, and a third for donation to the public library. Basically, those were books that the other 2 services did not want to purchase. If you're looking for Amazon's textbook buyback URL, unfortunately it's not exactly very easy to find. They call it Amazon Trade-In, and its website address is www.amazon.com/trade-in. For DVDs and a few old CDs I had, I used a company called SecondSpin by Trans World Entertainment. And let me be clear, I hated my experience with them. And the only thing that I can say about them is they are... Now, for any of my regulars, they know this is the part of the video where the team of exceptional lawyers that I keep chained up down in my basement, they get a little bit rowdy. And the only way to calm them down is to give a quick disclaimer. My statements on SecondSpin is just my opinion. Your results may vary. They might be nicer to you than they were to me. They basically treated me like complete crap and they were scumbags to me. But this is my opinion of my experience, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. Don't sue me. As I was saying, basically, in my opinion, they were a complete scam. I had to argue with them for months to get payment on items that they claimed never arrived. Thankfully, I mailed the boxes with USPS tracking codes, and eventually they did agree to pay me. But that's where it only got a little bit worse. Instead of sending me the $21.90 they owed me, they mailed me a check for 60 cents. Yes, you heard me right, 60 cents. Whew, I was pissed. So more of going back and forth with them until they finally sent me the correct payment. It took like 4 months to finally get the money from them. As part of my research for the script, I found out that SecondSpin, they shut down, and Transworld Entertainment has been rebranded under a new name. They are also no stranger to legal battles, and you can read the Wikipedia article that I'll link down in the description. Now, moving on, I also had a stack of old, unused gift cards that I've been collecting basically dust sitting in a shelf. Many of them were for $5 or $10, and they were promotional giveaways that I would receive for various things. I took these and went over to cashcard.com, and when I sold them, I netted about $122.50. The last thing to be sold was my drum kit. I basically never played it, and it was just collecting dust. Not to mention, I basically suck at playing drums anyways. The kit was a pretty nice one that I had, and it was about $2,500 worth of gear. Nothing approaching pro level, but higher end beginner level stuff. Sadly, musical instruments have horrible resale value, so I would definitely not consider it an investment advice. So, in the end, I ended up getting $1,000 when I sold my $2,500 worth of gear. Like I said, definitely not a great investment. But it was collecting dust, I was getting zero use out of it, it was better to get the $1,000 back. Now let's get back to the topic of eBay or other similar online selling. A fellow YouTuber, Taylor Bell, shows how she used her business marketing intelligence and modeling experience to drive sales to her used clothing sales online.
This is weird because it's not level. I know you can't see my toe, but it's always pointed. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Taylor Bell, and if you're new here, I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I'm going to show you how to model clothes for Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. Of course, there's many ways to do this, but I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'll put up some examples here of some of my listings where I am modeling my clothes. I try to model all my clothes, or as many as I can. Of course, we are all going to, at some point, buy some clothes or source clothes to resell that we just can't fit into and therefore can't model, in which case you'll have to use either a stock photo or do like a flat lay photo. We'll get into that, but you can model more than you think, and I'm going to take you guys through how I model both my tops and sweaters, my coats / jackets, shorts, and pants. And within each of those categories, I'm going to show you an example of one that fits me, like is actually my size, and one that doesn't fit me, one that's like larger or even smaller in some cases. And when they don't fit you, if they're too large especially, I'll show you how you can still model those clothes and make them look good for your Poshmark cover photos. You might be wondering why I model my clothes in the first place. If I could just find a stock photo or do a flat lay photo, that definitely is quicker. I will 100% acknowledge that. It does take extra time, but the reason I do it is because of my own consumer preferences. So if I'm looking through Poshmark, scrolling, the items that I personally stop to look at or that catch my eye are ones that have been modeled and look more presentable. So I'll just use one of my own examples. Here is a coat that I recently listed. So here is just the hanging picture that I took of the coat itself. Now, here's a picture of me modeling it. Obviously, your opinion might differ from mine, but I personally would stop to look at the one that is modeled. I think it gives me a more realistic idea of what that coat could actually look like on my own body, and I personally would be more inclined to buy it, so.
You guys should definitely check out her channel, where she goes into great detail about how she models, markets, and manages her online clothing sales. Her concepts could easily be applied to any type of product that you are trying to list on these online websites. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you click like and subscribe. Doing so really helps the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.